Shares of Tata Investment Corporation are up over 10% along with other Tata Group companies like Tata Motors and Tata Chemicals after sources tell Money Control that the Tata Group is preparing for a mega 15,000 crore rupee IPO of Tata Capital.
PG Electroplast and Whirlpool climbs more than 2% after the companies enter a contract manufacturing agreement where PG Electroplast will manufacture select models of Whirlpool branded semi-automatic washing machines.
Biocon has climbed more than 2% after it has received approvals for anti-diabetic and weight management drugs in the European Union.
Defense and Aerospace Electronic Solution provider Data Patterns ease up over 2% after brokerages issue bullish notes. Phillip Capital sets a target of around 3,400 rupees, while Nuvama also issues a bullish note.
And HG Infra is up 2.5% after its subsidiary has entered into a battery energy storage purchase agreement with NTPC. Good morning, you're watching Chartbusters here on CNBC-TV18. I'm Hormuz Fatakia. With me is Vinny Motiwala, and looks like Santa has finally arrived on Dalal Street, at least for the Nifty. The Nifty Bank too is recovering from the lows, but what was started off in the red is now in the green.
Absolutely not a bad day shaping up today, right? And even today, mid and small cap is almost in line with what we're seeing from the benchmark indices front. Nifty Bank hoping that also comes to the green side by the end of the day.
Indeed, and it is a good recovery from the Nifty, but the bigger takeaway is the fact that the Nifty is now trading above its 200-day moving average, which is at 23,841. That is the level that you need to keep an eye out for on the index, and that will be the most important level. 23,841 is that level on the Nifty. The Nifty Bank too is recovering from the lows. It's almost moved into the green, but still trading below the flat line, but a significant recovery from the lows of the day, at least 100 points off the lows. The broader markets too are moving in tandem, but there is plenty of stock specific activity as we speak, and we just spoke of Tata Investment Corporation and a lot of these Tata Group companies. And that is what is keeping the headlines as of now. And Tata Investment is up almost 11%, and a lot of others, right? Tata Motors, Tata Chemicals, all of these companies are seeing healthy gains this morning after the Money Control report about the fact that they are lining up a 15,000 crore rupee IPO of Tata Capital. But the other exclusive story that we are tracking this morning, where sources have told CNBC-TV18 that Amber Enterprises may be looking to demerge one of its key business. Sudarshan is here with more details on that. Sudarshan, tell us more.
So Amber Enterprises has three segments: consumers, electronics division and railway subsystem. So what we understand from sources that company may like to consider demerger of electronics division, and once the demerger is done, they might bring an IPO. Remember, so as of FY23, electronics division had formed nearly 20% of total revenue, and if you look at Q2 FY25, electronics division had formed nearly 30% of total revenue that company had reported for Q2 FY25. As far as valuation is concerned, Amber Enterprise FY26 estimated PE is at 54 times versus Dixon is trading at 99 times. Also, in 2024, as far as the stock performance is concerned, Amber Enterprise has almost doubled versus 182% rise for Dixon Enterprises. So the stock might be in the focus going ahead because company might consider demerger and the IPO for the electronics division arm.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for giving us the update on Amber Enterprises. As of now, the stock is holding on to gains of almost 3 to 4% in trade. Let's move on and shift focus to our special segment where we will get you a few ideas for profit from Money Control Pro. Anubhav Sahu, who is of moneycontrol.com, joins us to talk to us about a stock that he is tracking closely. Anubhav.
Well, one structural opportunity we have been talking about is that of CDMO, and in this space, Divi's Lab is an interesting pick. Though it has been witnessing multiple challenges, it is also looking up to new opportunities at the same time. Among biggest challenge has been a pricing erosion of the generic business, which appears to be stabilizing. Secondly, there could be impact on the API supplies to its client Novartis, as its heart failure drug Entresto may have to face generic launches in near term. That said, the company is eyeing multiple growth levers, which is also backed by commencement of Kakinada plant in the current month and cash surplus balance sheet. Secondly, contrast media business is firming up with the pickup in volumes under long-term contracts. In addition, GLP-1 opportunity can be a major earnings driver in our opinion. Sales from the branded drugs in this category like Ozempic was about $11 billion last quarter, and this opportunity is expected to reach $150 billion by 2030. Now, company has shown increased confidence towards this value chain by investing towards infrastructure to provide fragments of long amino chains. While valuations are at a premium, we expect about 26% earnings CAGR for the medium term, and hence we believe one can accumulate the stock during market declines.
Okay, let's welcome now Shilpa Rao, the Prabhudas Leeladhar for a technical check on the markets. Good morning, Shilpa. Thank you so much, as always, for joining in with us. Shilpa, today let's talk about Nifty Bank, right? Nifty is managing to sustain to those gains that we saw yesterday. But Nifty Bank, what are we expecting in terms of levels there? Last trading week, last couple of trading weeks now. So what should we be watching out for there?
Bank Nifty, if you see, there's a good support around 51,000 zones. The put writers are very actively placed there. So this 51,000 to 50,800, this zones should act as a good support on immediate basis. If we do so, then the levels of 51,800 to 50,000 definitely will come likely. It can happen today as well, or maybe, one or two sessions from here. But it is crucial that we hold 50,800. Talking about Nifty, Nifty has a good support zones at around 23,600 to 23,700. That is when the option writers are very strongly placed. However, the resistance is also at around 23,850 to 24,000. So this the broader range of 23,600 to 24,000 is somewhere, the range bound trade is happening. So buying on the lower zones and selling on the higher zone is what, we are recommending. And only a breach above any side of this zone, then you will see a 500 points up move or down move. So till that time, it is a range bound scenario.
It's a range bound scenario, and you can see that, right? Because the Nifty made an intraday high of 23,867 as of now, and yesterday's high is 23,869. So it's very close to yesterday's high. But Shilpa, what are specific stocks that you're recommending this morning?
I have one buy in Maruti. Maruti is, gaining momentum, and, there's a good fresh open interest addition today on the long side. Stock is trading at around 10,870 zones. So from here, keep a stop loss of 10,750 and look for targets of 11,000 zones, maybe intraday or one session from here. The other one would be a buy in Indigo. Indigo is also approaching 4,600 zones. If it sustains this level, you will see a sharp move towards 4,720 to 4,780. So positional trade also Interglobe is looking very strong. Keep a stop loss of 4,550 and stay long.
Okay, Shilpa, surely we'll keep an eye out on that. And just one last word, anything on Amber Enterprises? You just heard Sudarshan also just broke a story. But what are your thoughts on Amber on the charts and technicals, given that we've seen such a good run up for the stock?
Look at the weekly or the monthly chart as well. There's a good breakout coming in, so maybe on declines also towards 7,000, or you can definitely pitch in there and stay long. Good support is around 6,800 zone. So any declines from here also is a good buying opportunity. From here the stock is trading at a new trajectory. Maybe levels of 7,800 to 8,000 zones can also be tested.
130% now this year for Amber Enterprises. Well, thank you, Shilpa, for joining in, sharing with us your views on the index and specific stocks as well. Time for a short break. More on the markets on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and we just spoke of Amber Enterprises, Sudarshan's news break, and the stock is now extending its gains, and 5.5% higher now is Amber Enterprises. Has made that intraday high of 7,279, and it's going from strength to strength is Amber Enterprises. But the other stock that is going from strength to strength today is Biocon, and that is on the back of a couple of generic drug approvals. And Vinny, who is our subject matter expert on this, will tell us more on that. Vinny.
Absolutely. So Biocon today, we saw it start with 1% gain. Now it's picked up a bit of pace, 2% uptick right now. Now the company has actually received this procedural approval. So it was already in the pipeline, this approval. So it's a DCP approval. That's decentralized procedure approval. It's for a liraglutide drug. Now this is with its partner Zentiva in the European market. So EU region, that's where they've got this market authorization. Now, in the European Union, because they've gotten it for one of the countries, it applies to the whole of the European Union, this market authorization. That means in terms of saving in cost, in terms of applying to other countries, that reduces. So, one, that is the benefit. It's a complex formulation. Liraglutide obviously is something that has been trending, the GLP-1 opportunity that everyone talks about. So, a benefit coming in on that front. It's a drug that is going to be used, generic drug that is going to be used for type 2 diabetes, as well as it's also used in treatment of weight management, controlling your weight. So that is where these drugs are used, and this is a generic version which they've got this approval for. Now, company in Q2 FY25 had spoken about this, that how this is going to be driving the growth for the company. Liraglutide, semaglutide, this GLP-1 opportunity. They've spoken about liraglutide also filing for a review in the US FDA front as well. So they're waiting for that approval coming in. Analysts are saying that in the EU region, currently there are 5 approvals that are already there. So 5 companies are already there. And key will be to watch out for and market share distribution, how that shapes up. Last year, this drug, the competitive brand, that was around $1 billion sales that they had. Out of that, 50% was rest of the world. And in 50% rest of the world, EU would be around $200 to $300 million for the brand. So that's an opportunity that we are watching out for.
Well, drugs improving the health of patients, gains in the share price improving the health of shareholders. So it's a win-win, I guess, for both of them.
Health of the patients and maybe even reducing the weight of the patients is who are looking to use it that way.
They'll definitely be hoping for that, isn't it? But yes, Biocon at the highest point of the day now, 2.5% higher, nearing 340. But concerns are rising for the auto sector because the retail sales data is reflecting a sharp slowdown in sales. And Sudarshan is back after one news break. He brings in some more concerning data now. Sudarshan.
So last week, after 2 weeks of December, we had reported that Vahan registration for the month of December was under pressure. So after 3 weeks today, it's done. So we had tried to analyze if there is an improvement in last 1 week. Well, the answer is there is a minor pickup, but overall registration remains under pressure. For the 3 weeks of December, overall registration is down almost 15%, and it's dragged mainly by two-wheeler segment, where registration has fallen 20% in the first 3 weeks of December. If we talk about positives, one for PV segment, where till last week it was down 3%. Now after 3 weeks, registration has turned flat. Another positives are coming from the two segments. Those are electric vehicle and CNG. Registration for electric vehicles has increased 9%, and for CNG, it's up almost 7%. Now, overall registration for first 3 weeks, total registration this year is 13.87 lakh units, and now in comparison of 2023, we had more than 16 lakh units. That's down 16%. So there is a minor pickup in last 1 week, but overall concerns remain as far as Vahan registration data is concerned.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for the update coming in there. But let's move on, and we have a positive brokerage note coming in, and this is for the defense sector. Upasana is joining in with us to give us more details on this one. Upasana?
Well, a couple of brokerage notes highlighting a positive outlook on the defense sector this morning. Now, Elara says that it's expecting order inflow to rise sharply in Q4 FY25, given that the defense capex is set to be met in FY25. It says that the allocation to defense companies stands at 75% of the total budgeted defense capex. And it also has highlighted that engine vows for HAL may end soon, as General Electric will supply F404 engines in March. And inflows for HAL may also jump by 1.2 trillion by FY26. Now, the brokerage has highlighted top picks for the sector. It has given a buy rating on HAL with a target price of 5,465 per share, buy rating on BEL with a target price of 345 per share, accumulate rating on Bharat Dynamics with a target price of 1,300 per share, and Garden Reach has also the brokerage has given a accumulate rating with a target price of 1660 per share. Now, Nuvama says that it is optimistic on Indian defense space. Huge localization push to reduce dependence on disrupted global supply chains and also continued modernization efforts with large programs coming ahead of the expected lines in terms of execution. Their top picks for the sector is BHEL and Data Patterns. And lastly, Phillip Capital has also given a positive outlook on this sector. It says that the defense sector stands out as a compelling investment theme, offering multiple growth levers and strong visibility for long-term execution. Now, it has overall maintained a positive outlook on the sector, favoring stocks with favorable risk-reward profiles such as BEL with a target price of 390 per share, HAL with a target price of 5,500 per share, and Data Patterns with a buy rating and a target price of 3,400 per share.
Analysts certainly beginning to warm up to the defense stocks again after the drubbing that they had seen post the record highs in July and August. Upasana, thanks a lot for that. Time for a short break then. More on the markets on the other side. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Chartbusters on CNBC-TV18. Let's pull up Indigo because that's also in focus today, seeing an uptick of 4%. We had the aviation data that came in for the month of November. Overall, domestic air passenger, that grew by 12%. But Indigo's data, we saw 15% growth for the month of November on a year-on-year basis. Occupancy is somewhere around 90% in the month of November, second best November in 5 years. So surely growth coming in for the aviation sector. And today, Interglobe Aviation holding on to gains of more than 4% at a I think almost a few months high that we're seeing coming in, at least a 1 month high, is for sure that Interglobe Aviation is trading at as of now, keeping an eye out on the aviation data going forward as well. But on that note, we are absolutely out of time on this edition of Chartbusters. But as we wrap up, it's time to introduce Growth Code, a special initiative by Grow and CNBC-TV18 to further empower retail investors and traders. Renowned investors and professional traders convened at Grow's Trading Right event on November 9th, where they shared valuable strategies. Here are some of the key insights from Arjun Tandon, partner at Kailasa Capital Advisors, on how to determine your capital requirements.
एक एक्सपेक्टेशन सेट करना ज़रूरी है कि मुझे ट्रेडिंग से इतनी इनकम चाहिए. सो व्हाट इज़ योर फाइनेंशियल गोल? आप क्या चाहते हो कि मेरी मंथली इनकम ट्रेडिंग से कितनी हो? एंड दैट विल डिसाइड योर कैपिटल. सो लेट अस से कि आप कहते हो कि मैं ना 1% रिटर्न तो बना सकती हूँ या बना सकता हूँ. सो योर कैपिटल, अगर आपको मंथली इनकम 50,000 रुपए की चाहिए, योर कैपिटल विल बी 50 lakhs. अगर आपको लगता है कि आप 2% रिटर्न बना लोगे, देन योर कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट इज 25 lakh. एंड सिमिलरली अगर आपको लग रहा है कि मेरी एक्सपर्टीज बहुत ज़्यादा है, मैंने कुछ क्रैक कर लिया है रिलेटेड टू ट्रेडिंग, आई हैव सम सेटअप्स जहाँ पे बहुत अच्छी रिटर्न्स आ सकती हैं. सो ऑन अ 5% रिटर्न एक्सपेक्टेशन आपको सिर्फ 10 लाख रुपए चाहिए.